Great. Hi, this is Simon. Sitting here in our office in Tring, which has become the coaching centre, given the current panic that there is out there as far as the coronavirus is concerned. So a lot of stuff we're doing by webinar now. So we're, if you know Tring, we're in the centre in the high street of Tring above Grace's, in one of their offices at the front. And as you can see, the webcam does its job. We'll zoom out in a little while and just look at these two boards at the side here with some notes on it. But we'll give it another 60 seconds, just waiting for an extra few people to dial in, and then we'll kick off. So the whole purpose of this is to cover the 11 steps that your business needs to prepare for the coronavirus economic panic, which is very much what it is currently. And we want to try to provide a bit of perspective on that, and then really from our point of view, what is it that you need to do for your business to make sure that you can survive the current tragic circumstances. Really, I think it's 2020. A lot of people went into 2020 expecting this to be their best year. A lot of people said to me, a lot of clients said to me, this is it. This is the decade. We're going to turn things around. We're going to make this work. We're going to grow. We're going to increase the size of our team, etc. And unfortunately, we're only in March, and we've already had what looks like a pretty large economic shock to the system. So no idea how long it's going to last, but I certainly don't see it subsiding before the summer is with us. I think the economic impact is likely to last into the third quarter of the year, if not longer. So it looks like we're up to, we're still missing a couple of people, but we'll get started. It's 2 minutes past 12 now. So thanks very much for joining me. Welcome, as I said a few minutes ago, to our offices in Tring. This is a webinar based on the 11 steps your business needs to prepare for the coronavirus economic panic. Now, I haven't sent out any notes prior to this. If you have seen any of our previous communication, you'll know there is a Dropbox folder available. And in that Dropbox folder, there are some documents which will absolutely help you to navigate your way through some of the changes that are going on. So 2 documents in there about preparation, one about the kind of places that you can go and the people that you can talk to in order to get additional support. So HMRC, VAT, banks, etc., government support that's available. There are some grants available for certain companies as well, depending on the sector you're in and your requirements. There are some proposals for business rates, reductions, relief and rebates. So take a look in that Dropbox folder. If you haven't got it, you haven't seen it, then send an email to westhearts@actioncoach.com and we'll make that resource available for you. Great stuff. So 4 minutes past 12. So let's crack on and work our way through this proposal. Through this presentation. There are only a dozen slides. We're going to talk through some of the detail. I'm going to talk through some of the detail, and then I'm going to highlight the 11 points on these 2 whiteboards you can see behind me, so you can see exactly what those are. And then we'll do a follow-up mail out to everybody that's joined the call, so you all have some visibility of what those things are. Okay, so from panic to plan. Economic panic is absolutely what we see right now. The media, the press are not helping the situation with some of the inflammatory stories that you see. Whether or not you support the current Boris Johnson plan is kind of irrelevant right now. This is about how we rescue your business and keep it on track for the next few months. So. Step 1. Oh, he said, looking for the mouse, which I managed to leave over here. Apologies for that. So, step 1. Steps you need to take now. So a lot of this is about delay, or rather no delay. So what we can't afford to do right now is to miscommunicate or be uncommunicative with our customers, or be uncommunicative with our clients or be uncommunicative with our staff or our suppliers. So crisis communication is critical. If you focus on building a relationship with your customers, fans and followers, you'll always find yourself communicating in the right direction. And this is something about clarity, making sure you're completely clear about what it is you're doing to cover your the challenges that you face, the challenges that your customers face on a day-to-day basis. So first and foremost is your team. Assuming you have a team, what are you telling them? What are the processes, procedures, and precautions that you're taking, that your team are taking, in order to make sure that this current pandemic doesn't involve them or their families and so on. So what is the communication that you're going to put out to your team? Naturally to your customers. Right now, those two segments are the most important people for you to worry about. What are you telling your network? So again, in a small business community like we're in here, in Tring or in one of the local surrounding towns or villages, you've got to make sure that other people know what it is you're doing. So for example, some of the local shops on the high street have started to offer delivery services, so that you don't actually have to go into the store in order to risk potentially contracting the coronavirus. So your team, your customers, your networks, your suppliers and stakeholders, again, critically important that we make sure that everybody knows precisely what's going on and that you are clear with your message. What are your preventative measures? What are your processes and procedures that are going to help you get through this and survive the current crisis? So step number one is communication. Talked about community and the high street, etc. So those are the 5 key people you need to be delivering a consistent message to about what's happening, what you're doing, and what your plan and strategy is. Step 2, we all know what negativity does, right? We all know some negative Nellies, negative Noras, negative Neils or Nigels. This is not a time to be negative, particularly when it involves your business. So really crucial that you remain positive. I used this quote the other day on social media, and it's absolutely true. The Chinese use 2 brushstrokes to write the word crisis. One brushstroke stands for danger, the other for opportunity. In a crisis, be aware of the danger, but recognize the opportunity. In every negative, there is a positive. So let's go looking for that and make sure that we can identify those things. Panic and worry doesn't help. Yes, of course. I accept that a lot of business owners are panicking inside, but this is about projecting and making sure that people understand that you're in control, that you're looking for the small wins. What is it that you've achieved in the last hour, in the last day, in the last 24 hours that is making you at least see some positive signs in terms of the business, the action that you take, and so on. This is about pivoting. So is there some area of your business where you think there's an opportunity to do something else, to pivot the business, to change and focus on something else? That's a slightly humorous comment there. How can I sell toilet paper with the current panic that's going on? But that also applies to your business. So I have a commercial cleaning company that I work with. They have pivoted and put in place a deep cleaning arm to their business, which is out there doing COVID-19 deep cleaning exercises. So there's lots and lots of different ways that you can view that, but how can I do something different to generate income in a time when things look particularly tough? Sometimes less news is better. Honestly, I turn off the news these days. You just never know quite what it is what you're going to hear. I'll turn it on for the Boris Johnson press conference. I'll look at the Sunday Times. I might poke around on the internet and see some things, but there is so much bad news around that sometimes, just think about that, less news is better. Focus on the business, not on the bad news. Focus on the positive message that you can give off in your quest to keep your business running. And most of all, if you've got a team, you absolutely have to lead your people, and you have to lead your people with a positive view on things. That is part of your job as the business owner and the business leader, is to lead your team and explain what it is you're doing and why, and what the benefits of that will be long term. Everybody's worried about job security, right? And whilst we can't all promise that everything is going to be great in 3, 4, 5, 6 months' time, the expectation, of course, is that the business will recover, the economy will recover, and things will get back to normal. Leading your people is a key part but making sure you get that message just right. Step 3, know the cycles. So I've tried to kind of align this here with the seasons, right? So spring passes, summer arrives, autumn arrives, winter arrives, and those 4 seasons, you know, just keep on going. And the same is absolutely true in terms of business cycles. For those of you that have been in business for longer than the last 7 to 10 years, you'll know that there is always going to be an economic crisis or some similar downfall to the business or economic outlook for a country. Every 7 to 10 years, it tends to do this. So fall follows summer, winter follows fall, obviously, and then back into the spring. The spring will come. The spring absolutely will come. You need to be prepared for it, and we need to figure out what it is you're going to do come springtime to get the business back on its feet. 7 to 10 year cycles, as I mentioned earlier on. So this is another one of those dips. We saw it in 2008, 2009. You know, fast forward 7 to 10 years, here we are in 2020, seeing the same thing again. How did you insure against disaster the last time around? Can you use the same strategy this time around? Are there other angles that you can take to make sure that your business survives? But that cycle is going to come around. We'll get through this. 2020, we will absolutely get through this. Hopefully everybody unscathed. And in 7 to 10 years' time, there'll be another something that comes around. So step 3, know the cycles, understand those, and make sure you make the best of them. Step 4, change. So the only constant in life is change, right? We know every day is going to be different. We know every day is going to be, hopefully, we think every day is going to be better. As it currently stands, there are lots and lots of challenges. So we know change is coming. Are we prepared for it? How far ahead can we plan? Right at the beginning, I said, plan, not panic. And that's what this is all about, is get ahead. Look a few months ahead. Figure out what the steps are to get you to, let's just talk about the next 3 months, right? We need to survive the next 3 months. We've got to find a way to get through the next 3 months. So get ahead. Start to write that plan. And lead the change with your team. Make sure everybody understands what's going on. This formula, D times V plus F overcomes R, is something that we use quite a lot in Action Coach. Dissatisfaction times vision, plus the first steps, overcomes resistance. And that is the formula for change. So if you're unhappy with something, but you can see the future, and you can take some action, that's the first steps. That overcomes any resistance that there might be. The plan is absolutely crucial right now. You must get a plan documented and in place. And interestingly, today falls on the same week that we have our planning event on Friday of this week, which has just been moved from a face-to-face to a webinar. But the whole point is that is a 90-day planning process that happens every 3 months. We do that with all of our clients and lots of other people that turn up in order to write their business plan for the next quarter. Now is the time that you need to get that in place. So what is your plan for products, services, pricing, delivery, staffing? Do those things need to change? Does your product set need to change? How you deliver your services, does that need to change? Does your pricing structure need to change given the current economic climate? Do you need to reduce your prices? Do you need to modify the number of products you sell in order to optimize the margin you generate as part of your sales strategy? Is delivery part of what you do today? Should it be part of what you do tomorrow? And of course, staffing. How many staff do you have? Too many? Not enough? What does it look like from the point of view of keeping the business going for as long as possible? And change, even the whole business. Some businesses will need to pivot 180 degrees and go in the opposite direction, offering a different product set and to a different customer base. Some businesses might choose to just park their business for 3 months while they figure out what's going on. So accepting that change is inevitable, create the plan, write the plan, figure out what's going on, and then lead that change for you, your business, and for your team. And if necessary, break it. So I talk about changing the whole business there. If necessary, you have to break everything, smash it to pieces, put it back together in a different shape, and look forward to doing whatever it is you're doing. I mentioned earlier on that some of the shops on the high street here have suddenly started offering deliveries. Who'd have ever thought that a gift shop would be offering home delivery services. That's part and parcel of breaking their normal process cycle and doing something different in order to keep the wheels of commerce turning. Step 5, not a nice one, but an inevitable one. You've got to cut back. Don't wait. So my message to all my clients this week has been, don't wait. This is not a weekend problem. It's not a week-long problem or even a month-long problem. This is going to last a little bit longer. So you have to make decisions and cut back. Cost cutting, top priority. The key to lower costs intelligently and flexibly, thus minimizing negative long-term repercussions, is a quote that we've used a number of times, despite me not being able to read it correctly. Cash is absolutely king. Your cash flow, crucial for the next few months. Probably has always been crucial, but right now, having cash in your bank is key. Some of the documents I mentioned that are in the Dropbox folder, which you have access to, are about delaying VAT payments, negotiating with HMRC. They are offering up to 2-month holidays on VAT payments, for example, to enable businesses to get over the current problem. So cash is king. Stop spending. If you don't need it, don't buy it. No luxuries. Cut them all back. Where can you reduce your outlays? Do you have 2 offices? Do you only need 1? Do you have an office but you could work from home? Do you have an expensive telephone system that's on rental? Can you return it? You know, all of those things where you can reduce your outlays are absolutely crucial. Renegotiate your rent, renegotiate the interest rate on your loans. Anything else that you might need to do in order to cut back your business in an effective way so that you can save cash. Slow things down or postpone them. You've got a development project underway which won't deliver till the end of the year, and it's costing you hundreds or thousands of dollars every month, or pounds even every month. Is it possible to slow that down? Is it possible to postpone it so that you're not burning cash at a time when you need it to keep the basic business running? So the message here, cut back, don't wait, do it now. The one thing you mustn't stop is marketing and selling. If you stop marketing and selling, then the brakes are really on your business. So cut down all the costs wherever you can, but keep on marketing and selling. Keep on making sure that your message is getting out there in the right way, and that you're closing as many deals as you possibly can, even if those are future deals, even if those are deals for Q4 or Q1 next year. Don't allow those to fall by the wayside, and don't take your foot off the marketing accelerator pedal. Okay, so that's 5 steps. Pretty quick, you'll tell by the pace here. I want to get through all 12 before we get to past. Again, I will confirm all of these things and share this presentation by email so that you've got all the detail when we get to the end of the half an hour. So step 6, extend credit. Famous quote from Bob Hope: "A bank is a place that will lend you money if you can prove you don't need it." That has proved not to be the case just now. But don't wait. If you need an extension on your overdraft, if you need to get a loan in place, now is the time to make sure you've got credit facilities available to you from the banks while they're still lending. That might not be true in 3 months' time. In 2008, 2009, I'm sure you know, over a very short period, they drew in all the ability for people to get credit at decent rates. And despite interest rates being really low right now, the banks are still scarred from that whole 2008, 2009 banking crisis that we had, as are we all scarred by that, I'm sure. Credit lines, credit cards, refinance your loans if you have to, find the lowest rates that there are available, and there are some really good deals around right now. If you're a new business, the British Business Bank is doing some great low rate loans right now. Get your application in, don't wait. The links to all of that are on the documents which are in the Dropbox I mentioned earlier on. Talk to HMRC, and as I say, talk to the banks about renegotiating what you owe. So that's 6 steps. If you need a reminder of what those 6 steps are, I have made a note earlier. But not file them very carefully because they're lost in the middle of this lot. first five steps. Okay, so step 7, staffing cuts and changes. Lots of different ways to approach this. Short time working is one of those. Putting staff on a 3 or 4 day week, reducing them to mornings only or afternoons only. Crucially, you need to make sure that your employment contracts allow you to do short time working. Typical standard contracts may not do that, but there is an option to introduce this in a letter form that attaches to their to staff contracts. So think about that. Needing to reduce your costs again. Staffing cuts or changes are a key part of your expense. If business has slowed down, do you need the whole team? Should you make some redundancies, or should you simply reduce their working time all at one time or by attrition? Sometimes just because you have to. Again, be prudent and don't wait in order to make these changes. Pay cuts, also an option. I've got a couple of larger clients where the exec team have all taken a 50% pay cut in order to make sure the company has some cash to be able to move to the next stage. Put bonus programs on hold. You know, right now, cash in your business is king, and upsetting a few of the team because you've suspended bonus payments right now is probably the least of their worries, given the whole isolation strategy that has come into place since yesterday. That Boris announced on his newscast. So step 8, plan the work from home. If you're not doing it already, again, absolutely crucial. Do the team have laptops? Do they have access to the systems and processes? Do they have mobile phones? Are you able to reroute the phones to the office to their mobile phones? Are they able to get to the server in the office to pull off the documents they need to do their work? And when you do this, not only is technology needed, but regular meetings and reporting are needed to ensure people are doing what they need to be doing. Establishing KPIs, making sure your customers are being serviced properly. Banking obviously can be done remotely these days. Mail, I don't know how much post you get, but you know, getting somebody to pop in every week and pick up the post is perhaps not the most onerous of tasks. Again, communication. Have you got clients coming to see you next week? Do you need to move those? Do you need to move those to a Zoom session, a bit like we're on now? Make sure people understand what's going on. I just got off a call with a client this morning who's closed their office until the 1st of June in expectation this is not going to go away really quickly. All of his team and 250 of them are all working from home. All communicating, and there's a nice structure in place for reporting on a regular basis and making sure that KPIs are driving work-focused behaviour whilst they're working from home. So that's 8. Step 9, online or deliveries. So there's a pharmacy in the US waiving delivery fees for prescription drugs due to the coronavirus outbreak. We'll see more of that appearing, I'm sure, in the UK fairly shortly. Can you deliver the products that you manufacture or sell? Can you make them available online? Can you make people order over the phone and then deliver physically? Do you need to change what the team are doing, or in fact change the team in order to meet those requirements to be able to deliver online? People won't come to you, will they? But you can go to them. So doing a drop off at somebody's house, leaving the parcel at the end of the drive or on the doorstep, and making sure that people know that they are there, again, is a really, really important thing to do. Packaging, accounts, you know, etc., etc. So all of these things are all part of that thought process that I want you to go through to figure out what it is you can do to add value and to keep the business ticking over during what is, quite frankly, the trepidatious territory. And then again, back to communication. So communication with customers about what it is you're doing. We're changing our strategy. We are a takeaway, but we're no longer accepting people in the shop to pick up their Friday night tandoori. We will now deliver to you free of charge. Make sure people understand what it is you're doing and why. Step 10, market and sell. I said earlier on, don't stop marketing and selling. So here's a great quote. For a business not to advertise is like winking at a girl in the dark, or a boy in the dark. You know what you're doing, but no one else does. And that is absolutely 100% true. So you have to keep marketing. You have to increase your marketing activity, even if it's not the spend, but the level of activity, to let people know that you're there, to let them know of the products and services you still offer despite the current economic environment. Negotiate the rates. If you're placing advertising or you're using somebody's service, now's a great time to negotiate the rates that are being charged for those services. Create new offers. Measure your 5 ways. So if you don't know what the 5 ways is, it's something that we use as part of our coaching to calculate how many leads in equals how much cash that falls out the bottom. And there are 5 key metrics that are used to create that. Measure and know your 5 ways, critical to figuring out how many leads you need to generate a pound. If you don't know what that is, drop me an email, westharts@actioncoach.com, and I'll make sure you get some paperwork that tells you how that works. Cash up front, is that an option? So as part and parcel of what you're doing, can you give somebody cash up front to get a reduction in what you market and sell? Can you take cash up front to provide a customer with a discount? Again, lots of ways to be able to do this, but the critical message for step 10 is do not stop marketing and selling your products. Okay, getting towards the end now. So step 11, repeat business. Every contact we have with a customer influences whether or not they'll come back. We have to be great every time or we'll lose them. Creating raving fans in your business is something we talk about all the time. People who absolutely love what you do and why you do it, they will come back and buy time and time again. Now is the time to increase the level of service that you have and to increase the number of raving fans you have in order to make sure you're getting as much repeat business as you possibly can. So think about that. What is it you need to do? Your existing customers, without doubt, are the best customers you've got. You paid to acquire them. You haven't got to pay to acquire them anymore. You've just got to service the living daylights out of those people. Create deals. Existing customers get 10% off. Existing customers get a free XYZ. Existing customers get this. Great way of doing things. Bulk buys, again, for repeat business. Cash up front for repeat business. So anything you can do to incentivize people to move stock, buy more of your service, more of your product, absolutely the right thing to do. Keep those customers, almost whatever the cost is. You want them, you need them, you're going to need them even more in 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 weeks time. So keep those customers and keep that repeat business at all costs. Laser focus on making sure you know why people come back and making sure that they stay there. And look, lo and behold, here we are again. Communication is absolutely vital with all of those people. If you don't talk to your customers on a regular basis, they will end up going elsewhere. And the 80-20 rule is true. 20% of your customers who love you will typically be providing 80% of your revenue. So really, really, Pareto rules most things in the world, and that is absolutely true from a marketing, acquisition, repeat business, and profitability point of view. The 80-20 rule applies in almost all circumstances. There is a step 12, despite this being an 11-step process, as you might expect. And the last one is common sense and compassion. So setting realistic customer expectations and then don't just meet them, exceed them, preferably in unexpected and helpful ways, is part of that retaining your repeat business customers. But it's also the right mindset for you to be thinking about what you do going forward. So what does common sense mean? Over-deliver on customer service. The better the experience, the more likely they're to come back. Clean stuff and don't touch it. Wash your hands regularly, wipe down your services, clean your door handle. Make sure that you're not giving anybody, visitors, staff, family or otherwise, an opportunity to transmit the coronavirus. Don't touch your face. Provide hand sanitizer, if you can get it. It works, but honestly, from everything I've seen and read, washing your hands whilst you sing some great song, typically Happy Birthday, at least twice, is a great way of making sure that you're not transmitting those germs anywhere else. Put people first. You know, despite me saying you need to cut costs and look at staffing levels, etc., etc., you've got to worry about people and what they're going to be able to do and where they're going to be able to go. And so thinking about that as part of this whole process is again crucial. Common sense and compassion. Be nice and you know, take a chill pill. American phrase, I know, but please, you know, let's try to put a positive spin on this. Despite it being pretty much a you know, a national economic disaster for many people, there's always an upside. Where is it? Think about it and try to figure out how you're going to get there. And you know, chillax if you can. Take the dog for a walk. Go to the gym. Go for a run. Go for a cycle. Something. And think about stuff in a logical fashion. Oh, and lastly, always a bit of humour. You know me. Don't buy too much toilet paper. I think that's something we would all probably agree with, given the current chaos that there is in the supermarkets for toilet roll, pasta, and a whole bunch of other things. So taking a chill pill also refers to that, of course. So what did I want to leave you with? I'm just going to zoom out a little bit here so you can see the whiteboards a little better. Plan, don't panic. Absolutely crucial. We need to be in a position where we are creating a plan for the future. And my recommendation is that you look at the next 3 months and you worry about what the plan is for the next 3 months. If you need a hand with that, I'm happy to help. I've got some free half-hour coaching sessions available. I've made 10 available each week, this week, next week, the week after, in order to be able to help you through this situation. But there's your 11 steps. I will send this out, as I said, by email afterwards. So communicate, be positive, know the cycles, change, cut back, extend credit, staff cuts, plan to work from home, online delivery, market and sell, repeat business, and lastly, common sense. So I know that was a really fast 30 minutes. Hopefully you found that useful. And if you have, then obviously let me know, get in touch. In the meantime, my recommendation is that you take it easy. Don't sweat the small stuff. Get down, write the plan, get with your action coach and write your 90-day plan. It's a new plan, it's not the one you had before. List 5 ideas you need to take action on today. And then obviously if you've got any questions, I would be happy to answer those. Just drop me an email, westharts@actioncoach.com. Very good. Thanks very much for your attention. Great to talk. I'll share this webinar so that you've got the slides and you've got my voiceover as well. We'll also put this online so people can, people that didn't make the webinar today, we had about 4 or 5 people who didn't get here in time, can read, absorb, and hopefully create the plan that's going to get them through the next 3 months. Great stuff. Thanks very much. Really good to talk to you.